So hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing great. In the previous video, we learned about input, output, and file handling in detail. In this video, we'll learn about control flow and different components in it. So we'll learn about all of them in detail. Uh, so first of all, let's create a new file for our video. Let's name it control flow. And let's first of all lay out the objectives of the lecture. So here we will learn about control flow, okay? And in control flow, we will learn about conditional statements. We will also learn about different kind of loops. We will also learn about different statements like break, continue, or we'll also learn about pass statement. We will learn about fire exception handling as well, which is also part of control flow. We will learn about with statement, which is also a control flow statement. We will also learn about functions. Okay, so this is going to be an extensive video today. So yeah, we will learn about these things in detail. First of all, define what is control flow. Okay, control flow. So control flow refers to the order in which individual statements, instructions, or function calls are executed in your program. Or we can also say your control flow determines the direction in which the program executes based on certain conditions or structures. So what are the different conditions based on which programs are executed, and what are the structures? We will learn about these conditions and different structures of the program, which we call as control flow, in detail in this video. So let's first learn about conditional statements. Okay, conditional statements. I think you know about conditional statements. Uh, First off, we have if statement. So let's say we have x is equals to 10, right? Now, if let's say x is greater than 5, okay? So in that case, we need to print that x is greater than 5, okay? So let's run it. Here you can see x is greater than 5. This is how if statement works. Now let's discuss if else statement, okay? So let's say again we have x is equals to 4, okay? And if x is greater than 5, then print x is greater. Otherwise, else you could print x is less than 5, right? So this is how if else statement works. Here you can see x is less than 5, okay? The output of this instruction here. So next we have if else if statement. Let's say again we have x is equal to 5, and if let's say x is greater than 5, then again print x is greater. Else if we write it elif in case in Python, and in other languages we write it else if. So let's say elif x is equals to 5, then let's print x is equal to 5, and if that's not the case, let's print x is less than 5, right? So that's how if else if statements work. Let's run it. Here you can see x is equals to 5. X is equals to 5, therefore this statement has been printed. Okay, so that's how conditional statements work. Now let's move forward and let's learn about different loops and how loops change the flow of any program, right? So we use loops in cases where we have to iterate over a sequence of numbers or we have to iterate or something for too many times, right? In that case, we use different loops. In Python, we have basically two kind of loops. One we have for loop, and the other one is while loop. Okay, so keep in mind that in Python we don't have do while loop. In other languages there's do while loop, but in Python we have only for loop and while loop. Okay, so now let's discuss for loop. For loop is not that difficult. You just need to first specify the range in which you're iterating or certain things. You could do whatever you want. Let's say we want to print hello world 5 times from 0 to 5, then we could uh, use for loop for that. Let's say, yeah, here we have iterated or hello, printing hello 5 times. Therefore, hello has been printed 5 times. Okay, so that's how for loop works. You can use for loop for your purpose based on your requirements. Basically, it's used to iterate many times over some type of code or some function which you are implementing in your code. Okay, so next we have while loop. While loop is pretty same as for loop. It basically checks the condition each time it iterate over a loop, right? So let's say we have I is equals to 0. Uh, so we could try that while I is less than 5, print hello or do something else. You can also write print this is while loop. And also you could format it loop. You could print loop number as well. Like let's say we do this here. It would iterate over I many times, and then we are incremented I by 1 after printing the above code. Okay, so let's learn. So let's run this and see how it goes. So here you can see uh, this is for loop 0, this is loop 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and so on. So yeah, that's how while loop works. And basically, functionality wise, if you look at for loop and while loop, they are pretty the same and things, but they could be used in different uh, for different purpose based on different scenarios. Okay, so that's all about loops. I think that's not very much difficult. So let's move forward and let's discuss. So let's move forward and let's discuss break and continue statement. Break and continue statements. Okay. So here we'll learn about how we can use break and continue statement to change the flow of our program, right? These are the statements which control the flow of any program. Therefore, we call them control flow because these are the things which change the flow, the regular flow, which any instruction is run sequentially one by one. We change the flow and use these different kind of statements to change it according to our needs or our requirements. So let's discuss break statement. Let's say we have, uh, let's say we are iterating over a loop for many times, and in particular condition we want to break and break out of the loop. For example, in this case, we are iterating from range 0 to 10, and if the loop reach 5, we want to break out of the loop. We want to stop the iteration, right? So let's run and see the result. Here you can see it has printed uh, 0 to 4, and when I reached 5, it breaks out of the for loop. Okay, so that's how break statement works. It's changed the regular flow of the program. Now instead, if we write continue here, it will not break out of the loop. Instead, it will just bypass the loop in this condition and iterate over the next one. Okay, so in this case, it would skip printing 5 and uh, iterate over 6, 7, and so on till it reach 10. Okay, so if we run this, you could see 5 has been skipped and 0 to 9 have been printed here. Right, so that's how this work. If you want to skip some condition, or if you want to skip some set of codes in a particular condition, you could use continue statement. And if you want to break out of the loop, if certain condition is met, then you could use break statement in that case. So that's how continue and break statement works. Now there's also one more statement which is pretty same as continue break statement. It is called pass statement. Okay, it is pretty much same as continue statement, but there is one basic difference between uh, continue and pass statements. So what continue statements just skip uh, the subsequent code if any particular condition is met, while in case of pass, it doesn't do anything. Do anything. It just passes the control to the next iterator, and it's used to avoid getting errors. Okay, errors. Okay, so in case if there is some error in your code, you just pass to the next iterator. It let's say in the condition I is equals to 5. So in this condition, if there was some error in this code, it would pass the condition to the next iterator. It would not generate any error. That's the basic function of pass statement. Okay, so that's how pass statement works. I think there isn't anything much to discuss more about pass statement.